is Julia Jordan with Keller Williams The Woodlands. I come with you with some information regarding lease to own. So I had this morning a client calling in regarding lease to own. Her reason is right now she's in a lawsuit, and the lawsuit will be done in 2, 3, 4 months, but the lender, it's not sitting well with the lender because of course the lender doesn't want to lend you money against the property, and you personally are in a lawsuit, so they don't know how the outcome is, so they say, hey, let's just wait on that. But for personal reasons, she's on the clock. She wants to switch areas and move into a certain area. And the question is, how do we get her in there when her financing is not quite ready? So there are companies that we actually sign you up with. You as the future buyer are picking the house. You are deciding if the price is right for you or not. And then there are companies that will buy the property, basically rent it to you. And whenever you are ready to buy it, there will be a set price. So there will be no surprises. There will be a set price that you can buy it back for. So you have the benefit of moving only once. You pick the house. It's basically as if you buy a house, but just that you will rent it for a while. Of course, for everything what is comfortable in this country, and they really know how to create comfortable situations for people, there is a price to be paid. So you will be paying a little bit over market average rent, but on the other hand, you can take advantage of right now pretty good purchase prices. So right now you're not overpaying anymore, 50K, 80K, 100K like the last 2 years. You basically buy at comp price, or maybe you get lucky and get a little bit lower. And this company is also negotiating. They don't just buy for the listing price, they try to get a good deal on it too. And then they have a set price with you later on as the end consumer and say, if you buy in a year or in 2 years or in 3 years, this will be the price. So you basically know the whole time what you're signing up for. I wondered how expensive this is, and I did some research this morning. You basically pay a double deposit if you later on close with them. This will go towards your closing costs, so the money is not lost. And you have to fulfill like basic tenant criteria. They will look at your situation. Maybe if it's too bad, maybe you get rejected. I don't know. If you have no income and a super low credit score and you had 5 bankruptcies, maybe you're not their prime partner. But if you just have little issues like your credit score is right now a little bit low, or you're not quite there with your savings. For example, in her case, she wants to buy for $300,000, but she only has 5K in her piggy bank. What means with a pre-owned home, we probably with FHA look at $12,000 down payment. That is the money that you pay towards your equity basically. And then you have closing costs. Those are the 2 expenses usually for the buyer. And in her case, I would estimate a 7K, 8K for closing costs. So we are with total 19K or 20K. If I get her in with a new home builder, what is also a possibility for her right now, you can buy down the rate permanently or temporary, whichever way you want to go. Probably the new home builder will pay for that, okay? Depending on the builder and depending how your agent is negotiating for you, go with a good agent always. Also, you get help with closing costs often with them. Yeah, you get specials, you get extras like stainless steel appliances. Many of the builders give you a gas range. Some of those things, sprinkler system, garage opener, fully fenced. You get grass in the front and backyard. Those things. So new home builder, I think, is also a very good option for her. If you go pre-owned, that would come out of the seller's pocket, and it's a little bit harder to negotiate, but completely doable. So we can also negotiate for that, and depending on the loan program, the seller can or cannot pay, or can pay a certain amount toward your closing cost and down payment. Okay, so that is something what I wanted to share with you. It is actually called lease with the right to purchase, what I talked about earlier. Lease to own, that that would basically make it like a mortgage, and it's way harder to set up for the owner, because basically the owner becomes your bank, and in case you don't pay, they have to foreclose you. So that's a whole ordeal and very expensive for the owner slash seller side, and we don't have much inventory for that. Or there are also a lot of people taking advantage. They hope you will not be able to follow through with those payments. They looked at your financial situation and they basically took 10-20% down payment from you, and between you and me, they hope that your plans to refinance at one point, that they will fall through, and then they foreclose you, and they do that in big numbers. So they don't only buy one property, they buy 20 properties, 100 properties a month, and get rid of them in that way, sell them to buyers that are not 100% able to buy on the regular market. They charge you 10, 12, 14% interest rate, and you have the plan to refinance out of that anytime soon. But then often that doesn't happen. So at that point, you are losing your down payment, you are losing the money that you paid for closing, maybe for an agent, and then everything falls apart. You are 50, 60, 80K, 100K poorer, less rich, and then you start from scratch. So there's a whole lot of scam, and that is one of the things why you work with an experienced agent, to protect your cash. Just yesterday I talked to an investor friend of mine, and he reminded me again, when it looks too good to be true, maybe it is. If your credit score is a hot mess, you don't have savings, you have nothing to offer, but someone gives you a spectacular deal, maybe it's a scam. So be very careful, because you already started with little and then you burn through the rest. So you're even worse off than you started with. And that's why you work with an experienced agent who can simply keep you protected. You know, some people think we make our money for a whole bunch of nothing and just signing some documents. There is a little bit more to our business, and also how we network. You know, we have a lot of agents. Just in my one office, we are over 400 agents. We have a legal team, we have a CEO, we have several brokers in the office, that if I reach the limit of my wisdom, or I've never encountered a certain situation, and in a changing market we see that more, there is someone that even I can reach out to and say, nobody is doing the right thing on this transaction. How do I behave best to keep my clients safe? You know, and we had it in both directions, that agents or that sellers or that buyers did the wrong thing, and usually we can get them back on track, that everybody still does the right thing, and that we are seeing the closing table, and that everybody in the meantime was kept safe. Okay, so lease with the right to purchase, it's a good option if you only want to move once, if you don't have very much cash, if your credit score is struggling and you know why, and you know when you can fix it. There are ways how to help you. And I actually have a friend, she did it about 3 years ago. So she's going into the 3rd year, and she had the aftermath of a divorce to handle with, and she did it. And then of course, for her, the market helped very much. She went under contract 3 years ago when the market was still normal. And then we had crazy appreciation the last 2 years. And even with now it being a little bit slower, she has major equity in it. And all of a sudden the situation changed. She's able to purchase. She finally got her things figured out. And she's buying now. And in this case, she's actually buying with equity. That is, of course, the best of all worlds. And she's a very nice person and definitely deserves that. There is no promise for the future if the market will go up and down. But in case the market goes up or just stays stable, that is a very good option, not opinion. That's a very good option for you. Okay, that was just something what I wanted to share with you, that we cannot only buy or sell or help you invest, but I can also help you in some situations that are tricky. And for that, it's always good, like I always invite, just give me a call, share your situation with me, because probably I have a solution up my sleeve that you have never heard about, and that is maybe not very common, but it's definitely a route to go to help you. Okay, so if you have any questions, 832-444-4923. Thank you for listening so fast, because again, I was speaking way too fast, and I apologize. I will work on that. Okay, you guys have a blessed day. Bye bye.